Welcome to EJH British Cars. Well, if you've been watching my work on rebuilding the seats for the TR2, you'll know that I misplaced the hinge bolt. And I've looked and looked and I can't find it. I put it in such a safe space. So today I'm going to take this 1/2 inch by 1 bolt and turn it into a 5/16 bolt. And I thought I'd let you see how I do that. So let's get started. So this is my Logan Model 820. It's about a 36-inch bed. It's got about 11 inches of swing over the guide rails, which is just big enough to turn TR rotors, but not big enough to do rover rotors, unfortunately, by just about 1/4 of an inch. Anyway, so we're going to turn this. It's not a high precision job. We're just going to use a 3-jaw chuck. So first we're going to drop our pieces, get it set up in the jaw. So I kind of wiggle it like that to make sure that it's in there square. Part of the engine assembly or something. So we got that, and then we're going to need to use appropriate sized cutter. This is a quick change post, which makes life a lot easier. Put that in, and then I'm going to turn this essentially square to the work. What I do is I have this lined up over the saddle and just line the edges up, because it's just the angle of the cutter, so being some small piece off of the ideal amount, not really that critical. Roll this back. And so what I like to do is just lock the saddle in position. And we get it started. Roll it in. Like we're cutting through these threads like this, I kind of just like to do an easy cut because it's cutting in knots, so it's kind of like almost hammering on it. So it's easy to knock the piece out of the chuck. That. I'm taking about 15 thousandths off at a time right now. And we're almost down to the shank. What we need to do is turn this down to 5/16 of an inch. This is a 1/2 inch bolt to start with. Yeah, so now, well, we're still cutting through the threads a little bit. My guess is right now we're just over 3/8 of an inch. Well, let's see. Yeah, so it's 0.387. 3/8 of an inch would be 0.375. So we got a little ways to go yet. We'll probably take a little bit heavier cut now that we're through the threads. That's a pretty heavy cut, so let's see where we're at here. 317, big deal. So I thought it was good to cut just a little bit and then measure it. I'm going to use one that's a little bit finer cut. I'm just going to go over it lightly, and this will help polish it up a little bit. It takes just a tiny, because when you cut this, don't forget you're pushing, so there's a certain amount of spring back in the steel of your lathe. So you go back again, and you usually get a couple more thousandths on the light cut. And the other thing you can do, you put this on a really fine thread, and I'm just backing it out, letting the machine carry it, so the speed is very constant and it's very small, and it makes a fairly nice finish. What I do, just take a file, give it a couple of light passes, so it's nice to chamfer the end a little bit. I don't have a thread rolling device, which rolled threads are nicer than cut threads, but sometimes you got to go with what you got. 5/16 24. I don't know how well you'll see this, but if you look in this tap, you'll see that those last couple of threads are tapered out, and whereas this one, the threads continuous to the end. So you want to start from there. And if you're doing a blind bolt where you want the full depth, you flip this over and cut it the other way. So we're going to put it with the taper end facing out. I'm just going to start this nice and straight. And then this lever here locks the head. Cutting oil on it. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of shank unturned on here because this is going through two pieces of sheet metal and a washer first, and that's the hinge point for the back. So I want the hinge point. I don't want it to ride on threads. I just want it to ride on that smooth, and that'll save wear and tear on the seat back. Not that I suppose that it makes that much difference here 71 years later. But you know, no reason not to do things right. So I just turned the die around. Oh, it's a lot harder to start like that. There we go. But those last couple of threads won't be full depth at this point because of the taper. And there you can feel it starting to cut. There we go. I think that's plenty. Very different looking. So the other thing I want to do is this head is really thick. I want to cut it down about halfway. And I think I'm going to just turn it around because it's big enough to have the bearing that it's supposed to have. So I'm going to come back to my heavier tool and we'll see if we can't thin this thing down a little bit. I suppose I don't really have any specific dimension I want this to be other than I want it to be a lot thinner than what it is. I just want to make sure there's enough. It's the edge of this head that gets welded into the seat frame, but it's also up against the seat squab, so you don't want to have as big a one sitting there and just look sloppy. You can see it's getting pretty thin, but I'll get this a little bit thinner than that. I think I got it down where I want it, so I want to just break the corner off that edge so that if anything does rub against it, it won't act like a pair of scissors and try to cut its way through. It looks pretty nice. Knock the chips off the ways. And the other thing you want to make sure you do in this Logan, when you lower that lid, is what tensions the belt up. So if you leave the lid down, it leaves the belt under tension, and this is leather. So eventually it would stretch so it wouldn't be tight enough to work anymore. So you want to make sure you pick that up. Now, so let's go see how well this fits. As you can see, it fits in there pretty nice. So what I'll do is I'll get a pair of vice grips and lock that in, and then I'll tack weld it in 3 or 4 spots going around with the MIG. And here you can see I've got that all nicely clamped down so that's nice and flat against the sheet metal. And I've got my ground clamp in place. And all I need to do now is weld. Hopefully you can hear me more normally now. There's the old one. There's a new one, and the only real difference is that I MIG welded that, and this was resistance welded with the spot welder, but I don't think my spot welder would really get in there close enough to do that, and the MIG welding is a lot stronger. And here's the seat pan, all finished. The bolts welded in, everything's been ground off, painted with a black epoxy paint. Still a bit tacky. And there's the inside. Pretty decent. Don't forget this is completely covered. So the only thing you're going to see is these nuts. Everything else gets covered up with seat squabs and vinyl, and you know, the bottom is covered by, it's bolted to the floor. I think it came up pretty good. And you know, I spent about 40 bucks for the piece of steel, a couple of dollars worth of paint, bolt that was laying around the garage that turned down to fix the one that was busted. So 50 bucks maybe, a lot better than 500. So if you enjoyed all that, just a short video this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and we'll see you next time.